Hello everyone, my name is Elspeth, you're watching the Planeswalker Pantheon today. We are going to be opening up a pre-release kit for the latest Magic the Gathering set, Dungeons & Dragons Adventures in the Forgotten Realms. Unfortunately, due to a snap lockdown that literally happened the week of pre-release, we could not run our normal pre-release that we would normally run, so we were put into lockdown, but luckily my local game store are awesome enough to have the pre-release kits available to sell, and we could take them home, and we actually ran a pre-release at home. We just ran it over Discord. Anyways, enough about all that. We'll go into this wonderful box, and we will build a seal deck today. Alright. I'll crack one of these open. For those of you who aren't familiar with a pre-release kit, we'll go through the contents. So we've got a little sleeve there. And this is our wonderful kit. So we'll open up the box. First up, you get this little sheet that's a little bit of a flavor explanation of the set and how to build a pre-release deck. You get our promo. In this case, it is the Bard class. So for red and a green, legendary creatures you control enter the battlefield with an additional +1/+1 counter. Legendary spells you cast cost red and green less to cast. And for 3, a red and a green, whenever you cast a legendary spell, exile the top 2 cards of your library and you may play them this turn. You get a rare, basically, from the set to act as your promo. In this little pack right here, you will get the following, in addition to your promo. So you've got this, and we've got a pre-release code right here, which I'll share right at the end of the video, so you guys can claim it if you haven't done so already. Alright, so we get also some tokens. These are some foil double-sided tokens, and on the back there are the backs of the 3 dungeons that you can play through in this set. I'll explain those if they come up. And then in addition to all that, we get 6 wonderful, wonderful packs of the set, and something special that they decided to do with this set, because rolling D20s is actually a thing. They have actually given us a proper D20 spin down. Sorry, D20 die, so it's not a spin down, it's an actual proper D20. Weighted and set up the way that a D20 should. Anyways, enough about that, let's get going. So we'll get the first pack here. Now what I like to do when I'm playing a pre-release is I usually sort them out by colour. So we'll go through our commons here. Oops. We've got our artifacts, some more blue. Oh, and we've got our first rare here. It's Cave of the Frost Dragon. So it's a land. If you control 2 or more other lands, it enters the battlefield tapped. You can tap to add white, or you can pay 4 and a white to have it enter to become a 3/4 white dragon creature with flying until end of turn. And we've got a foil Ingenious Smith right there as well. And we've got some lands and some tokens, which we'll put to the side here. Alright, so we've got a rare land, which is always a nice start. It's kind of a combination of the fast lands and the creature lands from Zendikar. Alright, so now we'll go green, blue, red, black, green, white, black, green. Oh, we've got Kaelin Reclusive Painter in the rulebook artwork, which is a nice little grab there. Got another black. Got Baron Clan Undur. Oh, we got an Asmodeus the Archfiend. So for 4 and 2 black, you get a legendary creature, Devil God, to 6/6 with Binding Contract. If you would exile a card, exile the top card of your library face down instead. 3 black to draw 7 cards, and single black, return all cards exiled with Asmodeus the Archfiend to their owner's hand, and you lose that much life. So it's kind of a reminiscent of like a Necropotence effect, basically on a body. We've also got a foil Shocking Grasp right there, and some forests. And these are, so I'll explain this while I've got one here. These are the dungeons. There are 3 dungeons in the set that you can choose to venture through if you have the venture ability, basically. But we'll go through that a little bit more later on if we get venture. Alright, so got some artifacts, some green, some white. Red, black, green. Oh, we've got a Baleful Beholder, also in that really cool rulebook format. Alright, so white, black. Oh, our rare is a white. So for 1 and a black, you get a creature zombie soldier. It's a 3/2. Enters the battlefield tapped, and it has life drain. Whenever a creature dealt damage by white this turn dies, create a tapped 2/2 black zombie creature token and exile that card. Mountain and a wolf there. I love that the lands in this set actually do have flavor text, as though you were playing a game of Dungeons and Dragons and having the DM set the scene for you. Alright, so blue. Got an Evolving Wilds, that's always nice. Got a Mimic. Got a Divine Smite. Dungeon Map. Oh, we've got the Fighter class. So for red and a white, when it enters the battlefield, search your library for an equipment card, reveal it, put it into your hand, and then shuffle. 1 red and white. Equip abilities you activate cost 2 less to activate, pardon me. And whenever an equipped a creature you control attacks, up to 1 creature blocks at this combat. So that's kind of neat. And a Plains and a Lost Mines. Alright, next up. Got a Lurking Reaper in that really cool rule book format. Red. We've got Phaedra, Devil's Chosen as well. And we've got a Circle of Dreams Druid. So for triple green, get a creature elf druid. It's a 2/1. Tap to add green for each creature you control. Huh. We've heard that text somewhere before on a land, guys. Something that's probably not important. Anyways, got a Mountain and a Tomb of Annihilation. Here is our last pack. Alright. Blue, red, black, green, white. With a Neverwinter Dryad as well, in that nice rulebook format. Nice little cleric class, a wizard class, power word kill. And we've got another white. I'm not going to read this again because we know what this thing does. Forest and a wolf. So that's our pre-release kit. We are going to take a little break, build the deck, and once we come back, we will talk about the deck and how we've decided to build it. See you later, guys. Okay, everyone, and we're back. Now we have our little deck together. We have playing a little bit of a black-white sort of value-y creature deck, sort of mid-rangey, control-y sort of deal. We'll go through each of the mana costs and we will see what we've got in each one. So, yeah, now 1-drops for our creatures. We have a Shambling Ghoul, 1/1 for 1. When it dies, you choose either to give it a creature an opponent controls -1/-1, or to create a treasure. We aren't really keyed into treasures, but hey, a little bit of ramp always goes a long way. And at worst, it trades for every single 2-drop, or if you find a way to sacrifice this post-combat, if this lives, you can sort of direct that -1/-1 wherever you want. So it's a good little utility player. And then in our non-creature spells, we've also got a Portable Hole, so it's a nice little bit of removal, kind of like an O-ring for things with mana value 2 or less. I'm sort of saying convert a mana cost, but it sort of takes away an early problem if we need to. Would be a lot more equipments around, so this actually might be a lot more useful than what we think. In our 2-drop spots in our creatures, we have 1 Steadfast Paladin, just a 2/2 for 2 with lifelink, perfectly fine. You always take a bear with a French Vanilla Bear. Dwarfhold Champion, we're not playing a lot of equipment. This is probably better off in a red-white deck, but a 3/1 is perfectly fine. If at worst, you can trade it up for something a little bit higher up on the curve. We've also got our Pair of White, so a nice little way to... So it's an overcosted creature... So an overpowered creature, yes, it enters tapped, but you'll also be able to create 2/2 zombies whenever other creatures die. And we have a Sepulchre Ghoul, which is a way to sort of get some value out of our creatures dying. It's a free sacrifice outlet, basically, so we can always shack out, say, a Shambling Ghast, make this a bit bigger, kill a potential blocker, or swing in and do some nice little tricks. It synergizes quite well with what we're trying to do here. In our non-creature spells, we have a Deadly Dispute. Just say if our opponent tries to... If you've played with things like Village Rites, it feels a lot like that. Of course, it costs a little bit more. But you can sacrifice either an artifact or a creature. You draw 2 cards and you create a treasure. So again, really nice for Shambling Ghast. We've got a Fate's Reversal, which has you basically raise dead, and you can start venturing into a dungeon. I haven't really thought about which dungeons we'd target. I think it's more of an in the moment sort of mechanic. Although we do get a little bit of upside for completing dungeons, as we'll talk about later. And finally, we have Power Word Kill. This is great. It kills nearly everything. As long as it's not an angel, demon, devil, or dragon, we can kill nearly anything with this card. In our 3 drops, we have a Skullport Merchant. So again, it comes in, creates a treasure. You can sacrifice another creature or treasure to draw a card. So it's nice, a little bit of value there. Yuan Ti Fangblade, 2/2 with Death Touch for 3 is perfectly fine. But when it does deal combat damage, because of Death Touch, people aren't exactly going to trade creatures for it. We can venture into the dungeon as well. So nice little bit of upside there. And we also have a Priest of Ancient Lore. So, enters the battlefield, you gain a life and draw a card. We're not really into the life gain portion of that. But hey, 3 mana to draw a card and have a 2/1 body is perfectly a-okay in my book. Then we have a Minimus Containment. So another little bit of permanent-based removal. Enchanted non-land permanent. So you can put it on your own stuff to ramp you a little bit. Or you can put it on your opponent's stuff. It has tap sacrifices and it becomes a treasure. It turns into a treasure basically. But the upside is if they do decide to use the treasure, they don't get the thing that you enchanted with this back. So it's basically a way of permanent removal. In our 4 drops, we've got a Death Priest of Microl. So 2 and 2 black for a 2/2. Skeletons, vampires, and zombies you control get +1/+1. We have a few zombies sort of scattered around. The odd vampire as well. But at the beginning of your end step, if a creature died this turn, including things on your opponent's side, you pay 1. If you do, create a 1/1 black skeleton creature token. We have a half-elf monk, so 3 mana for a 1/4 creature human elf monk. It's got vigilance, which is always nice with tap abilities, and this one has stunning strike of 1 and a white to tap a target creature. So you can swing with this if the board's relatively clear, and then tap it, and then to tap a target creature, and this can actually open up doors that would be previously closed. We have a pair of Veteran Dungeoneers, so 4 mana 3/4s when they enter the battlefield, venture into the dungeon. Perfectly fine body, and we do actually want those ventures in there. And this is kind of our payoff for the venturing. So Barwin of Clan Under is a 4 mana 3/3 Dwarf Cleric. When it enters the battlefield, you venture. When it attacks, return up to one creature with mana value 3 or less from your graveyard to the battlefield if you've completed a dungeon. So I think we'd want the dungeon that has the shortest amount of steps. I haven't got the dungeons right in front of me, but there is one that can be pretty easy to complete, and we can just drive in with that and get some nice reanimation value. We've got some really nice value creatures here, like the Shambling Ghast is nice, the whites are great. Priest of Ancient Lore is even perfectly fine, to reanimate. So we've got some nice targets here. Then in our 5 drops, we have a pair of Zombie Ogres. So at the beginning of your end step, if a creature died this turn, venture into the dungeon. So we've got a pair of those. So it's a 3/5. So it's going to be a pretty hard body to get over. A Devoted Paladin. This might be considered our finisher for the deck. It might not be. But a 5 mana 4/4, when it enters the battlefield, creatures you control get +1/+1 and gain vigilance until end of turn. Is always nice. And Planar Ally, so 3 and 2 white for a 3/3 angel. When it attacks, venture into the dungeon. So we've got ways to sort of facilitate our venture mechanic right here, which is always nice to see. We are also playing, because it's absolutely free for us, our copy of Cave of the Frost Dragon. It's a creature, it's a land, it's everything we want. In addition to what you see here, you'll also be playing 10 swamps and 6 plains, because we're pretty light on white. This can come into play tapped if we happen to hit it later on, which isn't the worst thing, but we don't obviously want that to happen as often. But you'll still play it anyway, even if it is tapped. Anyway, guys, thank you very much for watching. Actually, before we go, we do have our pre-release code right here. I'll show it to you for the cameras. So it's A03ED 0EE73 5B682713E 62950. Thanks so much for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. I can't wait to draft the set. This set looks like a lot of fun. As someone who's relatively newer into D&D, this is actually really cool for me. I love Magic, obviously, but D&D has sort of become another second love for me. Thank you, Critical Role. Anyways, don't forget to like, share, favourite, and subscribe. It lets people know exist. You can follow me on Twitter, links are down below. You can also find us at the Planeswalker Pantheon, and we try to put content up there whenever we can. Anyway, guys, thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you later.